1-869-452 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Lynda Eisenmann, Preferred Home Brokers. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Good to be with you.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, we are celebrating today, and it's probably one of my favorite days. Not because it's National HVAC Tech Day, because, yeah, that would probably be beneficial for a lot of people around right now, especially those of you in the Inland Empire. Maybe it's cooling down just a little bit, but I'm sure that there's still a lot of people that are out there very, very thankful for for those of you that are not technical, that would be me. HVAC, that's like the air conditioner, man. I mean, we can just call it simple, can't we? We don't have to go formal, do we? But the reason that I'm excited about today's celebrations, we got a full meal today. Onion rings and chocolate eclairs. How much more could you ask for, right? I mean, isn't that, got a lot of, let's see. If we get the onion rings, we've got vegetables in there. We've probably got some flour in the batter. So isn't that two food groups? We've got the chocolate eclair. Chocolate's got to be made with milk.
It does.
Okay, so we've got dairy in there. I think I'll remember.
But you forgot about the fact that with your onion rings, you're probably going to have ketchup, and that's tomatoes.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Right?
So
that's your veggie right there.
Okay, so we've got almost. I think the only thing we're missing is meat. Right? Other than that, we got a full meal right there.
It's a vegetarian meal.
Vegetarian there. Okay. See, I got it covered. Having beaten anorexia, now I am right there. We are covered for the whole issue. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. It's another one of those whipsaws, right? The Dow Jones, it's up 40 points. S&P 500 up 14 points. NASDAQ up 55 points. The only one that's down right now is probably a good thing because it's oil. Oil's down just a little bit, not a whole lot, probably not enough for us to feel it at the gas pump. So let's take a look. We can see if you want to buy gasoline, $2.71.6.
Where?
Louisiana.
Where? Oh, where?
Louisiana.
Okay.
Right? It's not going to be in California, right? Louisiana, 271. 273.8 is Texas. We can look at 398.1. That's still not in California. That's Hawaii. Oil producing state. $4.23.8.
Ow!
Yeah, that's our gasoline right here in California. 307 is the national average gallon of gasoline. Do we want to see what it's done over the last year? Maybe. So California was 304, 305 last year this time. Same day last year, 305, and today we're looking at 424. Not an exciting picture, but hey, it is what it is, so we just continue moving right along.
What it is.
Hey, did you hear about this? I don't know if this was on the list. Now, we know that President Biden gave President Putin a list of targets. Now, I might be a little naive here. right? So the president of the United States gives the former KGB member a list of 16 targets that he does not want him to hit. Now, is that exactly logic? Does anybody else see a little illogic there that other than me? Right? You tell a KGB, a spy, don't go here. Doesn't that mean that's exactly where they're going to go first? I question that, but I wonder if the Georgia hospitals that were just attacked with a cyber attack, I think it was yesterday, I wonder if they were on that list. Boy.
Calling them target in the first place is kind of,
Right.
I mean, like bullseye? No.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. I mean, and we're not even talking about target here, right? I mean, we're talking about a legitimate bullseye. Those are the places, and you tell that to a KGB member. Now, I listen to some newscasts, even my private news service. I've got to send them a note because, they missed the spot here. So here's the issue, and I'm going to throw this out there for you. And you wonder what happened in the discussion between President Putin and President Biden. Here's the question that I would say. The American media does not get 4 hours with President Biden. I don't think they got 4 hours with him during the entire election process. But you give a KGB spy 4 hours to do a psychological evaluation of their opponent. That's probably what it was, right? I mean, they had this meeting for 4 hours. What do you think they did? I just throw that out there for you. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. We just continue going and watching what's happening and seeing where is all of this going to end up? Where are we going to end up going with all of these different issues that are in our society right now? How about the NC2A? I guess they're not happy with Justice Kavanaugh. And it doesn't matter to me because it is the NC2A. They didn't like the idea that Justice Kavanaugh said that maybe the NC2A is exploiting athletes. Now, I don't know whether you want to call it exploiting athletes. It's going to be a fascinating thing to see where all of this goes. That was the Supreme Court's ruling yesterday, is that athletes can make money off of their own name, off of their own likeness. That what's going to happen now, though, the college sports is going to take a major, major change because of this. Is it good or is it bad? I don't know. Right? But football obviously pays for all of these other sports. Right? I think it's the only sport that actually generates a profit, whereas all the other sports are cash flow negative. Okay, start paying the players. I get that. They should be paid. If they're the ones generating the money, they should be paid. But what's going to happen when you get a school like, USC or Texas or Alabama that have, $100 billion programs? I think last I saw Texas was like 120 billion, USC is like 85 billion. How is a school like Oregon, which is continually seems to be better than USC, not like I say that very, very hard-hearted. I am a USC fan, right? But Oregon in their football, they've been doing really, really well. I don't think they're going to have the budget to start paying players as much as a school like USC pays players. Is it going to just be whoever has the biggest budget is going to end up winning? Can you say New York Yankees, boys and girls? Right? I mean, that's basically what's going to end up happening. Is that what we want our college athletics to be? I don't know the right solution. I would say that David Meltzer, our friend, has been on and shared some very, very good solutions for this, especially if you are looking out for the college athlete. Right? David's plan is that athletes should basically get a 8-year education. 4 years, they're playing sports. They're not getting educated. And then either at the end of their eligibility or the end of their professional career, they get to go back and actually get an education. Surprise, surprise. Now, you watch and you see it's very, very fascinating watching all of these things going on, because we did get a football player yesterday who came out and told the world on Instagram that he's gay. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I couldn't care less. I mean, it's a waste of time talking about that part of it. Why do I bring it up? I thought 2 issues. Number one, he says on Instagram he's not in it for the publicity. Well, then what did he do it for? And the second part is he was actually going around, and this is the beauty of what he was doing. Before this, he was actually going around and teaching football players financial literacy. Now, does that surprise you that a football player is not financially literate?
Surprise!
Right? This is the whole issue here, though. And now they're going to end up saying, okay, let's give them more money earlier and tell folks you're not going to get in any trouble having boatloads of money way before. I can tell you this, my boys, they're not the most financially literate. They're better than most, right? We do talk about it in the house all the time. But I would say even myself, I've been in businesses since I was 18 years old, started working at 7 years old. I understood the value of a dollar because even as a 7-year-old working, I was taxed 50%. That's what I called it. My dad put it in a savings account for me, right? Good financial literacy. But at 18, 20, 22, 24, I was probably the dumbest person in the whole world with money. I think most guys up until we almost get semi-smart, maybe at about 30, we have a little bit of semblance of intelligence because up until then, we think we know everything about everything. Just ask us, right? Is that am I right about that?
You're right.
Right? I mean, we don't know squat, right? I mean, the ladies are smarter earlier than us guys, but throwing all this money at young people without getting the financial literacy. Can you see any problems with that? I just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about multiple offers. Yeah, well, how do you deal with multiple offers? Pre-approval, will that help? We're going to talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Dreaming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestatewithron.com and click the free workshop button.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions. as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones now up 24 points. S&P, or the NASDAQ is up 63. S&P 500 up 1370. 10-year Treasury down 1 basis point. Doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. 1.48 right now is the yield on that 10-year Treasury. Mortgage-backed securities, that bond is up 11 basis points, which means home loan rates are down just a little bit. But why? What's going on? What is driving all of this? It's very simple to look at all these numbers. Well, I'm going to tell you this. This is part of the driver, and it's also very, very misleading. Existing home sales tracks closings on existing home sales decreased by 0.9% in May at a 5.8 million unit annualized pace. Supply was down 20.6% from a year ago. Median existing home price was $350,000 in May. Here's the misleading part. 23.6% rise from a year ago. 23.6. Now, why do I say it's misleading? It's stats, the numbers. They are what they are, right? But if you don't understand median pricing, that's what can be the misleading part. So you got to understand median price means half the homes sold were above that price, half the homes sold were below that price. Right, so when you get a large influx of people buying on the high end, that median will jump up disproportionately. If we have a lot of people buying on the lower end, that price will go down disproportionately. So the media is going to be out there saying, look what's going on in real estate. Prices are up 24%. But they're not going to tell you what's really driving it. I will. So sales between 500,000, 750,000, up 12.2%. 750,000 to 1 million. Those were up, are you ready for this? 178%.
What?
Up 178%. And 1 million plus, up 245%. So think about that. That's what I was just saying to you. When you've got the sales numbers that are on that side, I'm not saying those prices went up that much. It's the sales number, the amount of homes sold were that much on the more expensive side of the market. Sales on the lower end, beneath $250,000, yeah, those did not go up as much. So real appreciation, it's still up about 13%, which is still hotter than we want to see it. First-time home buyers, 31% for 3 out of the last 4 months. Lack of sales is due to inventory, not affordability. This big issue right there. Cash buyers decreased from 25% to 23%. Investors purchased 17% of the homes. That's still stable. Fed's balance sheet has pierced $8 trillion for the very first time. Think about that, $8 trillion. Can you figure out what $8 trillion is? So think about this one. I love this analogy. Here's how you can visualize $8 trillion. If you were to stack up $100 bills, one on top of the other, 5,429 miles.
Wow.
That's going from Los Angeles to New Jersey and back. Amazing, right? So that's what $1 trillion is. So we're going to hear from Fed Chair Powell later today. That could move the market. That's about 11 o'clock our time. So we will, and obviously if you're listening to us live on ABC News and Talk AM 1490, that already happened. But we're broadcasting. If you're not, listen to us right now. We're on all the social channels. Catch us anytime you like. This time of day, every day on Ron Siegel Radio, on Facebook, YouTube. You can catch us Ron Siegel 1 right there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. So we are going to chat this morning. Lynda Eisenmann is with us, and I always am honored to have Lynda come in because Lynda is a great real estate professional. Been doing it for at least a day or two.
A day or two.
We'll leave it at that.
Good.
But and Lynda, I use one of your lines on a very, very regular basis when I'm talking about professionals in real estate. I say that there's always speed bumps in every transaction. It's once you've been around a day or two, you know how to navigate those speed bumps, right? I mean, so you need a professional either to be representing you or mentoring your realtor.
Well, you have to think about it. If we didn't have obstacles in the business to overcome, people wouldn't need us.
Right.
I mean,
and there's a lot of people that think they don't, which is foolish.
Hopefully we're problem solvers, because I don't know of a transaction out there that doesn't have a speed bump here and there. And some of them can be very minor, but others can be a major detour. So,
and our topic today is very, very timely, especially with when we get the news that just came out that there's no inventory for the first-time home buyers to buy. So we're looking at multiple offers. And I've shared many, many times. In fact, I've probably coached people to put together either a letter or a video to include in their offer. And I'm learning that maybe that we need to stop doing that.
According to NAR, yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
We used to call them love letters, a buyer love letter.
Buyer love letters.
That was basically a letter that was created by the home buyer. And usually, if it's a couple, they'll explain a little bit about themselves and if they have a family. And also sometimes what's important to them, the fact that maybe an elementary school is nearby or some other facility or daycare or whatever it may be important to them. And very often a buyer would state that in that particular letter. And NAR basically earlier this year has come down and said we're no longer allowed to basically supply a home seller with that type of communication from the buyer.
So let me ask this. What happens if the buyer insists?
First of all, the listing agent should know that situation, and the listing agent should instruct. I mean, the buyer can insist on anything. It doesn't mean it's going to happen when it comes to presenting an offer, because usually the presentation of the offer is pretty much controlled by the listing agent, the seller's agent specifically. And when it comes down to that, if the listing agent is familiar with the information that we've received from NAR out of Chicago that we're no longer allowed to use that type of letter, then basically, in my opinion, that the agent would say, I have a letter from the buyers. They created a letter, but unfortunately, I'm not able to share that with you at this point.
Wow.
I know.
Which is, to me, that's a shame. I mean, I understand the logic behind it, because I think I understand. I know what they're trying to accomplish. But I'm not sure that they're not trying to solve a problem that might not be as prevalent as really is. I don't want you to get into that part of it with me, because that gets political, and I don't want you to do that, right? Because it's an issue that, maybe they're saying that, they don't like the appearance of the buyers. They're too fat. They're too skinny. There's racial motivations. But I don't know that that's as big an issue because as a seller, I'm emotionally attached to my house. I'm
absolutely
trying to be divorced from it.
Absolutely. It is like a divorce in a lot of ways. I mean, if you've had good memories, you've raised your family there, whatever you've done in that particular home, we're a sum total of our life experiences. And you think about those life experiences and over the holidays and family times together and all those things that you have, there's a lot of memories that come into home ownership.
There is. And if that's the case, and I feel a connection to that consumer, well, maybe that's who I want to have the house. I might even accept a lower offer because this is a family that's going to follow in our footsteps.
I've seen it happen.
Right?
I've seen it happen. I've seen offers very, very similar. Very similar. And for some reason, a home seller or the home sellers are more in tuned or more whatever their emotion is with that particular buyer. There are times that they will select a buyer based on the emotional experience they've had with them, if there is one.
Now,
and by the way, there's not always, because not every seller is there when you're showing a home. So very often the seller, doesn't have any idea of who the buyers are other than what they see on the offer itself.
So then a question I would pose to you, and I know that it's something that was done. I've only heard of a couple of agents in the last 4 or 5 years that do it, where they said they want to present the offer live.
Yes.
Is that something that's acceptable? Is it done anymore?
I wish it was done. I wish it were. I wish it did happen. Actually, in the very beginning of real estate, for those of us that are in dinosaur years, at one time, we did meet with the seller to present our offer. We represented our buyer. We sat down with Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or whomever were the sellers, and we would basically go over the merits of the offer. But what we would do in the beginning is just tell them a little bit about our buyers. Your buyers have been through the home. They've seen it twice. They love the fact that the school is right down the street. They appreciate the fact that you've got RV parking here on the side, and their kids have already picked out the bedrooms. They love this home. So you would try to make your buyers real at that point, as opposed just to seeing something on a printed contract. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So let me ask you the cynical question.
Yes.
I'm just wondering what the driving force is behind this. Is it the National Association of Realtors trying to solve a problem, or is there a coercion from organizations like Zillow and iBuyer who want to make everything fit into a specific box on a specific computer form, trying to drive this so that they take that professionalism out of the process?
Well, when it gets back to the recommendation from the National Association of Realtors that we no longer submit buyer letters, I think the thought behind that was to help maintain fair housing as much as possible. I think it could be a fair housing issue in some cases.
Right.
In some cases, not all, of course, but some cases. So I think that was the purpose behind the recommendation that came out of the directive from the National Association of Realtors. I don't think it had anything to do with Zillow or anything like that. Absolutely none.
Okay, well, that's just the cynic in me saying that, sometimes money speaks, and Zillow and some of these others throw their money around to get what they want. And it's not necessarily what's in the best interest of any consumer. Just my opinion. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Lynda Eisenmann, talking about multiple offers. Well, we didn't even get into multiple offers. We're going to talk about pre-approvals make the difference when buying a home. And yes, we do have a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
What's your plan to beat inflation and protect and build your future wealth? If you're not sure, and if you would like to learn the secret of building wealth by utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder Program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 2103. 18037 and DRE number 018694452.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I appreciate people wanting to ask questions. We don't always have the opportunity because our broadcast is fairly quick and we have a lot to cover. But hey, feel free to put any questions you have right in the chat window. I am monitoring them. Josh monitors them. If you've got any questions, if it's something that we can supplement to what we're talking about, that's what we're here for, and we'll try and get that question on air. Problem is a lot of times we get questions that from some people, not always, but people end up giving us a question that's a very, very long and in-depth question, and then we don't have time to get to the answer. But we are more than happy. We appreciate people that want to join in on the conversation and share some information. Maybe we can help out. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Pre-approvals make all the difference when buying a home. You may have been told that it's important to get pre-approved at the beginning of the home buying process, but what does that really mean and why is it so important? Especially in today's market with rising home prices, high buyer competition, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of your budget so you stand out to sellers as a serious home buyer. Being intentional and competitive are musts when buying a home right now. Pre-approval from a lender is the only way to know your true price range and how much money you can borrow for your loan. Just as important, being able to present a pre-approval letter shows sellers you're a qualified buyer, maybe something that can really help you land your dream home in an ultra-competitive market. With limited housing inventory, there are many more buyers active in the market than there are sellers, and that's creating some serious competition. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, homes are receiving an average of 5.1 offers for sellers to consider. As a result, bidding wars are more and more common. Pre-approval gives you an advantage, maybe, if you get into multiple offer scenario, and these days it's likely you will. When a seller knows you're qualified to buy the home, you're in a better position to potentially win the bidding war. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. And we'd be happy to chat with you about this. Why do I say a pre-approval is better? Maybe. Well, here's the issue. Anybody can give you pre-approval. Basically means the system has gone through a underwriting system, the automated underwriting system. I had this conversation over the weekend with someone because an agent sent us a note saying that has a buyer. And they said, well, they've been pre-approved by somebody else. And our team said, well, that's good, but the information they're providing does not qualify them. And they said, well, how could they have been pre-approved? And I said, I can give you a pre-approval letter that shows the automated underwriting from anybody, anytime, anywhere. I know what the system's looking for. I just put that data in. So either somebody that's real good at what they're doing can get the underwriting approval, or somebody by accident can get an underwriting approval because they're putting in what they're told and they didn't really look at the underwriting guidelines. What I'm recommending, and it's something that our team does at Geneva Financial all the time, get pre-underwritten. That way, the underwriter's already looked at all the supporting documentation, and it's all completely done. Now, well, Lynda will be the expert on this part of it. It used to be box J4 on the residential purchase agreement, said there's no loan contingency. If that's still the case, you check that box, and now you've got the same as cash offer. That's just the issue right there. So get pre-underwritten. It's better than being pre-approved. And it really tells you what you can afford, what you can't afford. That's the issue right there. So let's continue our conversation. Or actually, we're going to try and get into the conversation because, I've been known to get down into rabbit holes every once in a while. So I got onto the rabbit hole of the love letter. Yes, love letters. No, we should have that love letter music, Josh. Sorry, love letters on Ron Siegel Radio. So what was that? Lynda, you're probably going to remember that, right? The love songs on, what was it, Coast FM or something? Way back when. Okay, but multiple offers. So let's take it from the buyer's standpoint first. How do we deal with getting into that battle?
Well, first of all, be prepared that you are going to be in a battle. Nowadays when we show property, we have such a limited amount of time. I have had a time slot of 15-minute increments at times that we've only had that much time in a particular property with a buyer. And when you show up at the cul-de-sac, the full cul-de-sac is just lined up with people already waiting in line to get in to see the home. I mean, that's how crazy it is out there right now. That's what most of us, at least in Southern California, are experiencing. So just be prepared that you're going to be, just be prepared for any and everything when it comes to submitting an offer nowadays. And one of the ways to make your offer the least complicated is to, from my perspective, if you're prepared with the loan approval like you're talking about, that is to shorten some of the time periods in the contingencies of the contract, because the fact that the California contract is a very extensive contract in itself, multiple pages. And by the way, we're getting a new version real soon. So anybody who probably is an active realtor may have already seen the proposed version that's coming out, but we're going to have a new one by the end of the year. But nevertheless, understanding with your realtor that you're working with that there are ways in which to, I would say, make your offer perhaps more attractive than another offer. And that would be, number one, by shortening some of the time periods.
Okay.
And when I say time periods, what I'm talking about is the time period for your inspection, the time period for your appraisal. And I have heard of people waiving appraisals and waiving inspections. First of all, I don't think it's ever a good idea to waive an inspection. I just don't think so. We just don't know enough about a property looking at it for 15 minutes or even looking at it for an hour, because from a buyer's perspective, you're looking at it with buyer's eyes and not the inspector. It's an entirely different view.
Big issue.
Big issue and big concern when it comes to a home inspection. But if there's a way that you can limit your time period of some of those, and that's with working with your agent and really being prepared in advance when it comes to writing that offer. Hopefully, if you're a home buyer, you have an understanding of who that home inspector is going to be, and maybe you've already been up to the California Real Estate Inspection Association, CRIEA, I think is what it is. The initials. If you're a home buyer, go up to that website and cruise around and get an idea of what's going to take place during your home inspection. You'll have a better idea of
that's important, especially if you're somebody like me who, I don't understand. I can't use a screwdriver. Right?
It's important for you and everyone else out there, Ron, not just you, but everyone else.
That's a big issue.
Oh, it is.
I can understand somebody saying, okay, that they've got a solution for the appraisal, but we don't want surprises. I mean, because the appraisers, I'm going to share right now, in many instances, appraisers are not going to be able to keep up. Their job is not being able to keep up with the appreciation we're seeing right now.
I believe that.
But the inspection is a different issue. I mean, if you've got a slab leak and you didn't see it, and I don't know if all the inspectors find it, because again, I don't know what I'm doing, but we want to have that full report that if they are, and I don't know that acronym. I think you're probably right. I just don't remember it. But the acronym for the home inspectors, the ones that are licensed, that have a reputation, they're part of the association, right? Because you don't even have to have a license to be an inspector, right? So you need to go to these places where they
They're trained.
are trained.
They're trained.
Right, that's a big issue.
And by the way, it's generally speaking, it's a general training, because there are times that an inspector will call out an additional inspection. Sometimes they'll make a recommendation to have a plumber come out. They could also make a recommendation to have a central HVAC person come out, things like that. So,
and I like inspectors that will not do the work. Right, I don't want an inspector that's got a self-serving interest, right? And saying, "Oh, you need a new air conditioner. Oh, by the way, I'm the air conditioner repair guy."
Well, I think those hopefully those are in the past. I know there's something that, or they had a recommendation, that sort of thing.
Right.
Their brother-in-law did plumbing work and that sort of
exactly.
thing. So no, I don't really think we see that much. And most of the inspectors, I think, are very, very good out there. I mean, very good. And by the way, I'm one that likes to have my buyers present during the inspection. And because when the buyers are there, and of course they've got to stay out of the way of the inspector doesn't want them looking over their shoulder every second, but you'll have an idea, if you're a home buyer, you'll have an idea of what that inspector is looking at while he or she, because there's a few females, are
one of our favorites.
Yes.
Right. Melissa Hammond is out there. She does some great stuff. Melissa and John Hammond have Hammond Inspections, one of our favorites out there doing home inspections.
Good. And occasionally they do. Occasionally we have inspectors that work as a team.
Right.
Not real often, but occasionally we do. But plan on, depending upon the size of the home, but plan on at least 3 hours for your inspection, maybe even longer if it's a larger home.
And if you're not there for the whole thing, for sure be there at least for the review.
Recap. Be there for the recap if you can't be there for the entire time, because it can take a long time.
And in California, Orange County, California, you're still looking at over $800,000 median home price. You're spending a lot of money, spending a little time.
Yep, have an idea what you're getting.
Right, absolutely. We're going to continue our conversation about multiple offers with Lynda Eisenmann when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Also got a featured home brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
If you're listening to this program, building personal wealth is a topic you're familiar with, and you probably understand that making money is about creating a high income from a high-paying job or running a business, while building wealth, on the other hand, is about creating a stock of value that goes up over time. You've also probably noticed lately that prices for fuel, groceries, and raw materials are skyrocketing, while your monthly income remains flat. Welcome to Inflation 101. One of the fastest growing wealth building strategies is utilizing your current assets with little or no risk, like the equity in your home. Realty Pro 100 has been helping people like you increase their net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 per year. Now's the time to put your money to work for you and beat inflation. Learn more and start building your wealth by contacting Realty Pro 100. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. Receive free information on how the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program works and if it's the right wealth building strategy for you. License DRE 02059058.
Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, The team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL-BRE number 018694552.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The featured home today, 1420 East Gamma Place, Anaheim, 92805. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms. Simply stunning. That's what it says right here. The single-story home located at the end of a cul-de-sac has absolutely everything from a gourmet kitchen that includes granite counters, a generous sized quartz island, a sub-zero refrigerator, a Thermador 4-burner gas stove with grill and griddle, a Thermador microwave, and a double Fisher and Paykel drawer dishwasher. I guess that's everything because I don't know anything about any of that stuff. That's from Mark Smith has got this listing, Freedom First Properties, $879,000. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels or the ABC News and Talk video feed, you're seeing some really nice pictures of this property. It's a nice looking property, $879,000. Let's look at some financing options. Now, I got options here for everything from 10%, 20%, 25% down. We can even do it 3.5% down. But let's just think about 10% down. Principal and interest, $34.43 a month. $34.43 a month for 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms. Ooh, nice. 20% down, $3,060 a month. 25% down strategically, $27.35 a month. Those are principal and interest. If you have a HOA, which doesn't look like there is here, mortgage insurance, liability insurance, taxes, all have to be added to that. But oh yes, for those of you keeping score, and I know you compliance people are, that would be a 3.466 APR, a 3.30 APR, and a 3.085 APR, NMLS 217037. If you want more information on this property, give me a call, 800-306-1990. Happy to put you in touch with Mark Smith. He is the listing agent on their Freedom First Properties. That is the featured home segment brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. So we're going to continue our conversation. Lynda Eisenmann, Preferred Home Brokers, in the house with us talking about multiple offers. How do you get yours accepted? Because it's a big issue out there, especially for those of you that are first-time home buyers. And hey, by the way, if you're a first-time home buyer, keep on listening because we do have a home buyer workshop coming up that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to give you all kinds of information. Again, it's free. So maybe right now, we got a list of a few things started, Lynda. We talked about contingencies, appraisals, inspections, getting the multiple offers. Now, are you more dealing with more multiple offers, dealing with them from the seller's standpoint? What are they going to do with them, or trying to get yours accepted? What do you think?
It depends upon which horse you're riding. It depends upon if you're the listing agent or you're representing the buyer.
You almost have to be both, though, don't you? Because most of the people that are selling something need somewhere to live once you've sold their house with multiple offers. So they're going to be getting multiple offers, but then on the other side, they're going to probably have to win a battle.
Well, that's true. Well, basically, a listing agent, I think what you're saying is somebody who is representing the seller may be finding a new home for that same seller as a buyer somewhere else. Yeah, that's possible.
right? I mean,
that's possible.
They're going to probably still want to have a roof over their head.
And, unless they're moving out of state, a relocation or something like that. I mean,
right.
There are a lot of times that I have a seller who's not staying local. Maybe they're going somewhere else and they're working in another area, or job transfer, or a lot of people, state of California. We know a lot of seniors are leaving the state.
Sure. For someplace that's got a little bit more friendly retirement environment.
Absolutely.
Or they could be doing something that you and I enjoy. Right, they could be going out to Coachella Valley.
Coachella Valley, you're right.
Maybe not when it's 120, but you can enjoy it that way. But so that's other idea, being that we can't do a letter anymore.
I think it's a good idea. If you're a listing agent, first of all, if I'm representing a buyer, I really want to be able to communicate to that listing agent as much as possible. In other words, I literally want to get on the phone, not just email or text. I know,
on the phone?
and talk to them. My gosh, people used to talk to each other.
Wow.
But nevertheless, if you can find out a little bit about the seller's situation, the seller's motivation, are they looking for a long escrow? Are they looking for a short escrow? What's best suits the seller?
That sounds like negotiation 101.
Well, it's
Right. Find out what the other party wants, and let's see if we can make that happen.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Make it happen. How can we make this happen? And there are times that there are intangibles that could be discussed ahead of time. And what I mean by that is, we might have a seller who needs a rent back.
I was just writing that down.
Okay.
Write a rent back.
And if it is a rent back, if depending upon that you've consulted with your buyer, but let's say hypothetically you could say, well, whatever the fair market rent would be for that place, maybe they would waive it for 30 days. Maybe they would charge them half. In other words, the seller would pay half of what the normal rent back would be on his own home, for example.
Sure.
Or there could be zero costs for a rent back. And another way to kind of discuss some of these things ahead of time, agent to agent, is to say, look, my buyers love this home. They want to do whatever they can to get their offer accepted. And when we have the inspection, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to nitpick. They're not going to be that picky about the inspection. They want to have the most important things looked at and understand that the home is in sound condition, but they're not going to get picky on the inspection. So you're not going to have to worry about a long laundry list of requested repairs that come in from a buyer after the inspection. So there are some intangibles like that you can discuss, hopefully with the seller's agent ahead of time. Maybe it's possible that depending upon the condition of the home and the age of the home, maybe they might even waive a termite clearance. Yes, they want an inspection, but maybe they'll waive a termite clearance, for example.
That's an interesting one, especially from when you look at it from a lending standpoint, right? Because if the termite report is required, then the lenders are generally going to want to have it, remedied if there's a significant problem. So you have to really look at that part of it as well. But anything that you can make that this is and a lot of times when I say negotiations, people think, oh, that's a bad word, right? But really, it's a matter of solving the problem.
Absolutely, negotiation isn't always about price,
right?
And that's the first thing people think of when you're negotiating is the price.
Exactly.
There's so many elements of an offer to discuss and to work out and to resolve, other than just the price.
Yeah, some people want a real short escrow. Some people want a real long escrow. Some people are more the sellers, and it's all about what the seller wants at this point, right? I mean, can the
pretty
buyer
much
can the buyer make happen what the seller wants to happen, right? So okay, we know where the pricing, market price is market price, right? So you may be going over a little bit over market, maybe not, but if the seller says, okay, this is what I want, this is what I need,
I can tell you, in my opinion, they're selling over market. They're not selling at market; they're selling over market.
So does that mean that they're going to come back to market, or is that the new market?
For now, it's a new market.
Okay, yeah, it's a big issue.
And we can only look at the past to maybe surmise what the future is going to be. But we have to also understand the overall market, and our market in California, Southern California, we really have a housing shortage.
Sure.
We have a housing shortage. So you have to ask yourself, what's going to happen in the future? Are we going to have a glut of houses on the market? Probably not. We don't have enough homes now.
Right. And it doesn't look like the new home sales numbers are coming in. Our new home construction is really coming in, and permits are not coming in that much above of where we are. They're increasing, but they're not.
That's one of our issues. We don't have enough new homes.
And according to our friends over at Chapman, that we don't need as many as the governor is saying, but we do have a need for a new home. So that's going to be an interesting issue as to where all of that comes from. Great information. If you want to meet Lynda Eisenmann, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Couple of touts, we got to get them in, right? So if you haven't got into our trivia contest yet, it's very simple. rsrtrivia.com or rsrtrivia to 79564. Trivia word of the week or the month, home ownership. Very, very simple. If you haven't got your home buyer or home seller guides, the new ones are out. And yes, they are compliments of Ron Siegel Radio. Text RSRHBG to 79564, RSRHBG to 79564, or RSRHSG to 79564. So the only difference is the second to last letter. Do you want a buyer's guide or do you want a seller's guide? Very, very simple. And for those of you, unfortunately, going through divorce, yes, we've got our Better Outcomes workbook. MyDYMWorkbook.com, MyDYMWorkbook.com, all free from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. And as always, I ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim again.